Welcome to Torque and Takeoff. My name's Jason and this is my Ford F250.
Hey guys, Steve Domo from Torque and Takeoff, and today I'm joining you with Jason and his F250 Ford pickup truck. How long have you had the F250?
I've had it about 2 years. I imported it around 2.5 years ago. It took about 12 months to get it on the road. When it arrived, the great guys at Customs decided that there could possibly maybe be asbestos in the brakes and ripped all of the brakes out of it. And so had to load it onto a trailer, unload it from the trailer to my house with no brakes, not even a handbrake, which was pretty interesting. Started calling around workshops, and every workshop I called, they'd say, no, I'm not putting that on my hoist. It's too big, takes up too much room, it'll take too long, but you can call this guy. And then I'd call that guy and he'd say the same thing. No, it's too big, I'm not doing it. Call this guy. And then eventually I had a mechanic that could do it, but he was booked out for 6 months. So ordered all the parts in, new master cylinder, all of that. Got it on the road, got it fired up. The carby needed a little bit of a tweak, but apart from that, it ran perfectly, off the bat.
So let's have a look at this. Obviously it's got this cool looking patina and an even more patina looking engine bay. Look at that.
So this is the Ford FE360, so 5.9 litre, just under 6 litres. It definitely chews through the juice, but plenty of torque. Because it's the 250, it does have the lumpier cam in it from the factory. It sounds great. The only thing I've done, like modification-wise, the engine since I've had it, is put a new exhaust system in it, just to bring out that V8 grunt, the low-end cam rumble. It had, at some point, it had a battery explode in it, which you can see, that's why this section here is a bit more rusted than the rest of it. And it actually completely ate through the bottom part here.
Oh, wow. So you got a new battery tray in there and everything.
Yeah, and this got welded up. So for about 6 months, it was just hanging on with a couple of zip ties and praying the battery didn't fall out the bottom.
You're running air conditioning there, obviously.
I don't have it hooked up, so...
Oh, right. Let's have a look.
So,
yeah, lines to nowhere.
Yeah,
okay,
I've got the rest of the bits sitting at home for that.
That'll make it far more drivable here in Queensland.
Yes,
because it gets quite humid up here. Like, it's ridiculous how humid this place gets in summertime.
The other issue I had when I imported it was Queensland Transport wanted a engine block number.
Oh, right.
And the FE engines often didn't get stamped with a number.
Yep.
When I explained that to the transport department, they said, well, we need one. So we went back and forth for a bit, and I crawled around under the car on a hot summer's day in the Queensland Transport car park, scrubbing off 50 years of grease trying to find an engine block number.
Yep.
Couldn't find anything. Then I went back the next time to explain that there was no number, and then the guy behind the counter said, oh yeah, that's all right, we don't need that.
So, classic. We've all got, I think even you guys in the States, you know, your DMV or DV or whatever you call it, have the same sort of issues I've seen. You know, it's the same here in Australia. These people in government departments can just be painful to deal with. But the Ford Edsel, what a design that they didn't put a, sometimes a engine number on it, but just have a look at it. This is beautiful.
So as far as the paintwork goes, sat outside my house for 6 months to a year. I decided it was time to finally actually stop it progressing any further. Got a green scrubber and just really got into the rust, removed all of the rough patches, and then I used Penetrol to seal it in, because I didn't want to get the car resprayed with a gloss. I don't like the way the gloss sits on top of the rust, but the Penetrol has a bit of a satin sheen to it. So put the Penetrol, did a couple of coats of the Penetrol, and then used the Bowden's polish on the rest of the body, and then the Bowden's wax to seal it all in. Yeah, the patina's looking good, but the car's protected and not rusting any more than it should.
So tell us about the wheels on it. You were just telling us before about the different combination of wheels you got. What's going on there?
Well, originally, the 2 owners ago, he used it for towing horse floats and other bigger things. So he had some big truck tires on the back, And then it's got the original wheels and hubcap covers on the front there. So
yeah, let's have a look at those.
they're the dog dish hubcap covers. The plan is to get another set of those and put the rear wheels back to a more stock look with a slightly wider offset to fill the guards out a bit more.
Yeah, of course, it's looking pretty gappy there. You can probably fit a full fist there, and we're not even touching like the guard yet. There's still about a fist and a half width. There's my technical term to fill those those guards. So tell us about what's going on in the back here.
So we've got there's not really much that's changed in the back here. We've just got a toolbox. It's far too shiny. That needs some patina, so some sandpaper and some rust.
Yeah. Rust in a can.
Yeah. It's been professionally installed by me with some straps. I couldn't bring myself to drill into the tray, but I'd say that's what I will do long term, is actually bolt it down into the tray. But
I just love these nice beefy padlocks, guys. But just an Oki strap away from yours.
And then there's some USA modifications here with this. I don't really understand what this is.
So yeah, maybe someone can tell us what that is. And that was on the tailgate too, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's another one just down here.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that. I know some of you guys will maybe understand that, but yeah, we don't have a U-Haul or whatever you call it in Australia here. We just have like this Australian. This is one of the 3 types of Australian towing plugs we have, which is a small pin, typically used in Queensland, more northern states. We have a big fat round one we use down south, and a big flat one now, flat 7-pin that they use.
Another just smart feature that I really like that's in the tray are these like spring-loaded for tying things down and straps.
Oh, wow.
Things like that. So yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
I imagine that would have been used to open a beer or two in its time. Be pretty handy. Stick your beer under there and away you go.
So I routed the exhaust out the side here, in front of the rear wheel. But yeah, it makes for a good driving experience having it right there next to the cab, so you get that full V8 sound right beside you.
It just has this really nice pop to it, especially in the sun, because you don't see many cars these days like this colour on the road. They just don't make them. They don't do it like this anymore.
So the main thing that actually attracted me to this truck in particular is my house in Mermaid is actually the same colour blue as this. And when I saw the photos of it in the States, I was like, that looks strikingly similar, but with a photo you can never tell. And then as soon as I put it on the driveway, like the paint code is almost identical to the colour that my house was painted 10 years ago.
So there you go. It's Jason's Mermaid House Blue.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to call it. That's the colour.
Which you can tell by the plates that are on it as well, as sort of tribute to Mermaid Beach and where the car's stored. We've got 72 for the year of the car, blue, and then Mermaid Beach down the bottom there.
That's cool, and that's something we can do here in Australia, particularly Queensland. They allow you to have sort of custom plates and all that sort of stuff. You can even have emojis on the plates down here. It's ridiculous. Like whatever you want, you can dream it, you can have it.
That's one thing I won't be doing. No emojis on this truck.
So I have to ask you on that though, if you had to put an emoji on your number plate, which emoji would you put on this car?
The eggplant. Of course the eggplant. What else is there? Is there another emoji?
Yeah, I would have put maybe, being a Ford, maybe the mechanic guy, the mechanic emoji.
We've had the floor cut out and replaced, and we've resprayed it, but we didn't want to respray it and make it look brand new, so we kind of still kept with that patina look.
Love the race tape, look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah. The high beam light's actually just under that, which took me a while to figure out.
Yeah, the foot one. Yeah, the Holdens in Australia had that, the early Holdens right through from FX through to HD, HR, something like that. I'm going to take you on the other side. We're going to jump in the cab and have a look. What a cool interior, eh? This thing is massive. The doors are just huge. Big doors compared to what we have, these days.
So original seat, still in pretty good condition. Obviously original dash in not so good condition.
So you've obviously got a plan for the stereo. What's going to happen in here?
We'll put something in there to match. I don't like seeing old cars or old trucks with brand new LED stereos, but there are a few people now that are making reissue looking stereos that have the modern features. So we'll go with one of those to tie in with the look of the rest of the car.
One other thing that I really can see that sticks out is the gear stick, the way it's shaped. My goodness, this is ridiculous. What's going on there?
Yeah, I guess it's just for ergonomics. It's a 4-speed gearbox. Really, it's a 3-speed with a granny shift, like with a super low range. You don't ever use first gear out on the street. Even if you were starting on a hill, it's still too low range. Obviously designed for towing. So yeah, driving on the street, always starting in second.
Well, should we take for a drive?
Yeah, let's do it.
Left-hand drive is not something we see at all in Australia unless you've got a car like this. So this is a really unique experience. So for all our American viewers, what we'd like to know is, and guys with F-Trucks, for the F-Truck community, for the FE360s, what can you do to them to get some decent power out of them? We just want to know, yeah, what mods can be done to be able to make this thing go a bit better. The seat is so springy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there'd be a few people kicking around watching this video that were potentially conceived in the front of seats like these, bench seats.
Possibly on this seat itself.
I wonder how many kids out there were conceived of this thing. Yeah. This seat could tell a story, I'm sure. Sure.
Unfortunately, 0 in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah. Well, we don't even have any drive-ins left. I think there's like, what, one drive-in or something left for like, you know, they put it on once a month or something like that. But yeah, that used to be a thing. You know, car culture's changed now.
We've always had classic Holdens in my family, and hopefully my granddad will forgive me for driving a Ford. My uncle bought his first Japanese car, a 370Z turbo, I think they're a turbo 6-cylinder, but it had plenty of power, and he just got caught out by the lag. The boost came in as he was coming around one of these bends, back end stepped out, went up the bank and then down the other side. He's fully recovered now, but yeah, it was a good couple of years recovery from that. He's still got part of the family's collection being an FX Holden, which hopefully in the near future we'll also be able to do a video for this channel about that car.
Yep.
And then an FC Holden that we've also got in the family.
We do get a lot of kangaroos and wildlife through this area, so you might have seen the sign back there with the wildlife. We're not even that far from the Gold Coast beaches, probably like, what, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, yep.
And that's something we have to deal with here. A lot of people think you don't see the kangaroos or whatever in the wildlife, but you do, and they're here. And there's koalas and possums and foxes. They're not native, but they're here. Rabbits, whatever else.
Well,
a bunch of other stuff.
I rode a kangaroo to school. You didn't ride a kangaroo to school growing up?
Nah, only on school holidays.
Apparently that's what Australians do.
Yeah. Everyone seems to think that we do that, but... has a really nice note to it. It sounds pretty decent when he's driving. I really like those straight pipes you've done. That's really nice sound. It's not over the top, but I imagine, what's it like for you when you're sitting over there?
It definitely, on long trips, it does get a bit much if you're sitting on the highway. Just cruising around town, yeah, it's quite comfortable. Sounds great. When I first picked it up from the exhaust shop, I was a bit disappointed with how quiet it was. Yeah. And then I don't know if the mufflers opened up or if my ears opened up or what happened, but it seemed to get progressively louder in the first month of driving it.
Yep. It sounds like a truck. That's at 1,000 revs, and it literally sounds like a Mack truck, thanks to the big block, lazy sounding engines. But they're cool. What she makes about? How much does she make about? 210 horsepower or something?
Yeah, it'd be around that.
Yeah. Wow, for almost 6 litre, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Definitely not the most efficient engine ever built.
No.